So how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
So debt.
So debt.
Jesus fuck. We have not had that big of a fucking problem.
Wow,
in a long
40
time.
minutes.
Fucking hell. Well, welcome to episode number 2 of the lost fucking episodes where we actually had something to fucking say.
Oh,
Fuck you,
that is
man.
awesome.
That sucked. I am so sorry, dude. Well, it wouldn't be our fucking podcast if we weren't absolutely unprepared and unprofessional about it.
Yeah, who cares?
Welcome to Buttertown.
Well, welcome to Buttertown.
That's
the greatest.
I am so fucking sorry.
That was the greatest entry. Welcome to Buttertown. That was a 40-minute. That was a 40-minute intro, and you guys heard
We got
1 minute of the
rust off.
39-minute buildup. Wow, that's amazing. You guys missed out on like probably one of the best podcasts we've had.
Probably one of the most introspective.
Oh man, we were talking about
political.
Oh man, we were talking about politics and the etymology of history and the beginning of the world.
Fascism.
Oh man,
You mentioned like 2 great books. So let's not bring that up again.
what the hell are we going to talk about now? I feel like we got it all out of the way. There's
like all the shit that was like bubbling up.
Oh my God, that podcast started with the fury.
Oh, it's like we lit the fucking candle on the giant fire, like the fuse on the firework, and it exploded and everyone went, holy shit, how are you going to top that? And then one guy shows up after that and goes, when's the fireworks? That's this episode.
Oh man.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't even know what we're going to talk about.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. That is my fault.
You know, you ever heard of like post-nut clarity?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah,
yes.
That's like, I feel like all like the show happened already. Now we're just kind of like,
now we're just dicking around.
Now we're just like laying next to somebody that we don't want to be with right now.
Oh, you didn't look that ugly a minute ago.
What happened?
Where'd those liver spots come from?
Man, that's how my wife thinks about me.
Well, congratulations for at least having that.
Yeah.
So how are you doing?
I'm good.
I mean, seriously, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I've been, last time we talked,
it's been a fucking minute.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. It was December 21st. Yeah, we talked all about this before too.
Well,
June 21st.
That was our last episode, and then we did an episode before that about 8 months before that.
Yeah. Well,
it's been a fucking hell of a year.
Weight loss has slowed down. I've actually gained a little bit of weight.
But you look good now.
Wow.
To me, you look like you.
I feel stronger.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's like way fucking better.
But
are you happy?
No, I want to lose weight again. Because it doesn't feel good. I feel better when I'm like, I felt like more nimble on my feet. Like you move around easier.
Should I understand that?
I was just like, our dining room table is like from the 1930s, 1934.
Oh, the fascism era of America.
Fascism era of America.
Which you fuckers will never know about.
Yeah, because
unless you actually read
all about the history of fascism in America. You guys will never hear. Well, anyway.
I wish it was an actual lost episode that we could like hold on to. No, the fucker never recorded. That's the problem.
So and I was underneath the table like working on it. There's like these arms that essentially stiffen up the sides. The leaf of the table.
I remember.
So I was like working on that. I remember getting up and being like, oh God, this is like back in May, this was a lot easier. Now I don't feel as good now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like being a little bit more nimble.
Okay.
But I don't know.
But do you like eating what you want?
I have been eating and drinking as much as I want, whenever I want.
Yeah, that's kind of problematic in its own.
It can be problematic in itself.
Very
pragmatic. The beer, like, dude, October was amazing. We went to like all sorts of like Oktoberfest all over the place, man. The one in East Dundee was a blast. It was awesome. There's no reason why East Dundee should have like the music that it had there. They had a Michael Jackson impersonator there. That was like one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. And he was an impersonator. If that's what Michael Jackson was in real life,
yeah,
I can see why people lost their damn minds.
Yeah.
It was awesome. The guy went through like 7 different like like changes. The guy was
like eras of Michael Jackson.
Oh, dude, it's amazing.
Oh, that's fucking
amazing.
cool.
He had 7 like changes. He's originally from North Carolina. He's traveled all over the world, and he's in like East Dundee.
Interesting.
At an Oktoberfest.
Huh.
The food at that Oktoberfest was super amazing. The beer there was super amazing. They had schnitzel burgers, which were super good. I love, dude, German pretzels. I adore that stuff. Like really super good chewy pretzel bread.
Yes. That's the issue.
Really good chewy pretzel bread. There's
so many people fuck it up.
Do you know where where Lucky Monk is?
Oh yeah.
The Lucky Monk's pretzels are easily the best in the area.
Wholeheartedly, it's the only thing I get there.
It is incredible.
Granted, I haven't been there in like 5 years, but yeah.
I love their pretzels. The beer was really good. I think they had it. It was Black and Gray Brewing, which I think was made right there in town.
Cool. It's like I respect that.
Yeah, which is like a straight up real German Christmas fest.
Yeah.
It's almost like we talked about that already, and nobody's ever going to hear about it.
That was upstairs there.
Oh, that was upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that was the whole other episode that you fuckers.
You guys missed out. Yeah, and then they had the next day. We went back to the fest 2 days in a row.
Get
it was
the fuck
that
out.
awesome that
I've never done that
twice.
besides like a convention.
Me neither. Yeah, Heather and I were just like, we had a really good time. Do you just want to go back?
No shit.
Yeah, dude, we went back and had a blast.
That's insane.
They had, I mean, it was all impersonators, but it was so much fun. The next day they had a Journey cover band.
Okay.
Incredible. Okay. And the whole time the guy was doing Journey, like he was such a dork about it. He was telling you like all this. You ever heard like Casey Kasem?
Yeah,
when he was
grew up on.
Where he would like tell you like little history tidbits about all the songs. He would like literally do that for all the songs.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he sounded exactly like
really.
Oh, it's like just like Steve Perry. And then the last one was Prince. Awful.
You could fuck that up so easily.
Yeah, and he did. We did not like it. I think, you know what? I think he was really good, but he had like backup dancers, and there was one girl there that was so awful.
Oh no!
I remember just looking at like Heather and like,
no.
How is this girl on stage? It's like a middle school theater something where she's like the girl who's dancing as a flower, but she's like really
like she was the tree, but she got too into it.
Yeah, she got like way into it. Yeah, that was kind of awful. But I would totally go back next year. That was
okay. Let me know when that happens, because October, as long as it cools down, I can't do the summer fests, man.
We ended up doing the Oktoberfest at Schnitzelplatz on 64. Also,
Schnitzelplatz.
Yeah, it was like a German place.
Do you like
German food at all?
No, I think German food is one of the worst.
Americanized German food is wonderful.
I'd be interested in trying that.
I think German food in Germany is fucking gross. I don't like it.
Yeah,
I do not like
fucking A right.
I think like actual German food is gross.
Yep.
It is like they are very serious about making sure their food tastes like nothing. It's weird.
What am I
like? Butter and salt and pepper are exotic recipes, exotic spices. Really? Man.
By the way, this 15-minute conversation right here, epically different than the last hour and a half of Doom. So, I will say I enjoy that we can still laugh in the face of utter despair.
Yeah, I mean, we're just
like German food.
Just like German food. We're just looking at the abyss, and it's staring back.
And it's schnitzel. I will say I had schnitzel.
You're looking at the edge of the world, and the blackness is staring back at you. Isn't it terrifying? Just like the Jews.
Whoa.
Oh, see? And you guys missed out on that entire
Please take this out of context, remix that, and do something good with it.
You know, I recently, I don't know if I want to, I recently got like,
dude, like 8 people.
I got a director position with a pretty high up thing.
Wait, for real?
Yeah. But like, I feel like it sucks. It sucks because it's like, God, I don't like these things because...
Oh, now you gotta like watch yourself.
Yeah, it's so stupid. It's so dumb.
Well, I mean, so recently, I kind of like reevaluated my brand as my business, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now is kind of like taking to heart, like, who am I? Like, I'm not trying to appease everyone. I don't want to appease everyone. I want to appease the people actually we want to work with. So like the simplest, dumbest fucking thing that I did was I stopped censoring myself in all my work content. Like, we stopped bleeping out the swear words. And immediately...
Don't you do stuff on YouTube, though?
Yeah.
Does it demonetize you?
We're not monetized. I don't give a shit about monetization. What I care about is reaching people.
Okay.
That's what I care about. And I realize that the people who are censoring themselves are doing it only for the reason of that. Like, that is their job. The YouTube creators is their job. So they're trying to make more money. That's fine on them. But I also wouldn't want to work with them. Like, personally. I want to work with people who are badass. I want to work with people who want to like disrupt what's happening in their industry and try something new. You know, out of the box doesn't mean turning left when everyone else is going right. It means I'm going to go over to that fucking forest over there and eat a sandwich while you're deciding if you go left or right here. You know, it's something that's so far out of the fucking field that you're not thinking about it. That's what I want to do. And I just decided, like, well, fuck it. I'm truly going to be myself. Because if you dig this, then we're going to work so fucking well together. And I'm already seeing interest building. I'm not saying it's because of this, but because we said, look, we're just going to not rebrand, but like focus on the brand being more genuine rather than something that everyone can like.
Dude. Yeah. I think being genuine is being genuine. What was it? Like the take at face value in real life of what the new sincerity movement really, really is. And like the new sincerity movement is like something that David Foster Wallace was talking about. And it's what a lot of people like refer to as metamodernism.
Okay.
And the new sincerity movement, at least in a writing sense, is what The Office was, is what Parks and Rec was, where you are, it's like, it's not cynical whatsoever. It's just like people being genuinely enthusiastic about things, and you can have differences but still get along.
Yeah.
Like the reason why you have a Ron Swanson and a Leslie Knope together
being best friends,
where 20 years prior it was impossible.
True.
The new sincerity movement says you can have both end. And I think like they do that in real life, man. Like people be real in real life. You know, we can the reason Donald Trump probably got elected is because he said it exactly. He's just a dirty fucker.
And people glom on to that because they're dirty fuckers.
Maybe they liked it because he was sincere.
Right.
At least, I don't know, as sincere as whatever that means to him. But
yeah, right.
You know, he didn't sound like a politician.
Which I understand. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to go too down that rabbit hole because that's all I've been fucking thinking about for the past month.
But it worked. You know?
It worked fucking gloriously.
Just be honest. Be an honest person.
So
it almost makes me feel like, dude, like if anybody in Los Dudes would fucking run, if they'd be honest, like, dude, just be an honest person and swear.
Yeah.
It like people who don't swear like make me feel uncomfortable.
Agreed. Like absurdly so.
There's a girl I work with and she's incredibly nice. She's a very nice person, but she said that she thinks less of people who swear. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? And I told her, I specifically said like,
that's the answer.
You know, she's like, what, like 15 years younger than me.
Weird.
And I told her, I was like, I think people who don't swear are weird.
Yeah.
Like really weird.
Untrustworthy.
Yeah. And I said that exact thing, that I don't trust them. Because, you know, essentially like.
That means you're bottling shit up.
Yeah.
And then what else are you bottling up at home in jars in your basement?
Yeah. But then again, and I used to think that way. I remember when I was young, I always thought like if you're swearing, it's because you can't think of anything intelligent to say.
Because that's what we were told.
And that's exactly what she thought as well. And I was like, but then, you know, I was a young man and not very smart.
So
I mean, not that I'm still smart, not that I'm smart now, but
yeah, right.
But you know, dude, like somebody who's like, if you're 40 and you say fuck because like you mean it, like in your bones, like that's real.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
For multiple reasons. When I teach, I teach college, And when I teach, like the very first day, like I have a few things I go over about who I am and what I expect of them before we even get into the class shit. And one of them I said, look, when I get excited, I swear, and I'm a real fucking human being. So if that bothers you, come talk to me and we can work something out. But be prepared to hear a real person's conversation. I am not curbing my language for you guys. My job is to teach you something valuable.
How did it go?
Every student I have talked to about it said they felt so comfortable because of that. And then some of the kids started, swearing too. And it never bothered me. What bothers me is people who, I don't know. I don't want to get that. But I noticed the kids were like much more receptive to talking when I was just myself. Like anytime, because I've taught it for 5 years. And when I tried to be more like professorial, they fucking check out. They don't give a shit. And then I just said, fuck it, dude. I'm going to teach the class the way I would want to learn it. And just go and just be myself and build up that excitement. And if you ever want to come to a class, I have one of my 20 classes, super worth coming to. It's the one where I get real fucking jumpy excited.
Which one's that one?
I talk about intro to film theory. So we talk about the Kuleshov effect. We talk about left versus right. And I just go fucking nuts. I
give them examples?
Huh? Oh, God, yeah. I have.
Do you get to watch the light come on in their head and see it in their face?
See, and that is hands down one of my favorite things. My favorite fucking things. Just when you see the eyes widen a little bit. And even if they don't get it, even if they don't understand what I'm talking about, you can see something open up in their head and go, oh shit.
This is bigger.
This is bigger than what I thought it was. And there's more to this. And that's it. That's all I'll ever ask of anyone is to think. Do not take what I am saying as verbatim. Fucking think about it for yourself. And when I teach this class, I just think about all these asshole teachers that I had who gave zero fucks when they taught us. They would come in and just read the chapter from the book with, like, why should we fucking care?
You talking about high school?
I'm talking about education in general.
I think high school winter has some really good educators.
Cool. Granted,
not all of them, but
in high school I was dumb. I cared about athletics and art. I didn't correspond anything really else. Okay. When I got to college and I started like taking classes that I kind of wanted to take, then my brain was like, oh shit, this is actually fun. Like learning is really fun. Going to the library is fucking fun because look at all the fucking knowledge that place has.
It's a whole aisle of nothing but like the kind of books that I like.
Right. And I'm not being told to think a certain way. I'm not being told this is the curriculum. I'm being told, hey, here's ABC, but guess what? You get to find out what the fuck D through M is. And when you're ready, then come back and we'll start with N. And that's fucking cool. That to me is awesome.
Do you think you would have done really well in a Montessori school?
What's that?
So the way that we went to school is a way to educate kids. Mm-hmm. But Montessori is like essentially that, but like in grade school and junior high. And they do it kind of to an extent in high school, but it's just led by the student, whatever like really interested them. And there was people that I was in undergrad and grad school that went to Montessori schools. Mm. Those are always like really interesting kids. Like they were always like really good
at like maybe I don't know where to take that though.
That Montessori school, like if you were interested in something, they would just cater to it. Like if you showed signs that you wanted to be a filmmaker when you were a little young dude,
right?
They would be like, awesome. I'm going to teach you math as the way that a filmmaker would do it. I'm going to teach you history the way that a filmmaker learns film. Like, and you just kind of like, instead of, I don't know if I've ever showed you like the thing on how like human knowledge works, where like you just take your finger and you put like a dot in the middle of the paper. Like that is, and that piece of paper is like, or like, I do it on a plate. If you take a round plate,
chicken fingers,
that's all human knowledge is what's on that plate.
Okay.
You put like a little dot of your finger in the middle.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to learn in grade school.
Yeah.
You draw a little tiny line around that.
Yeah.
That's what you learn in junior high. Another like finger line around that. That's going to be high school. And then for college, you're going to do another line around that. And then you're going to just bump your finger out a little bit on what your like profession is going to be.
Correct.
And in grad school, you're going to be on that line. You're going to now push your line.
That I agree with.
A little bit.
Yes.
And you're going to push that line almost damn near to the edge for grad school.
Right.
And then for your PhD, you're going to make that plate just a little bit bigger.
I think I would like the analogy more to be, instead of making the plate bigger, you're going to realize that there are plates underneath it.
Well, and in a way, you are making plates bigger.
Because literally when I want to go for my PhD one day. I'm never going to. But like, I want to, just because I want to have the conversations. I want to fucking dig into the knowledge and the academia. But I know there is so much shit. Like the moment you really start digging down into any rabbit hole of any kind of knowledge, right? Then you notice, oh my God, there's a fucking ocean underneath this puddle that I knew nothing about. And you may think you know something about it, but that fucking ocean keeps going deeper. And I would love to say that I know everything about film. Motherfucker, I do not.
Where the analogy was going to be going was instead of
sorry,
instead of putting your finger in the middle of the plate and you're going to have to circle everything, push it out. For Montessori school, you're going to start not off to in the center. You're going to be starting off to the side to begin with, and you're going to work your way to the center, and you're going to work your way out.
So, okay, that begs a great question. Is it better to be a well-rounded person with many facets of knowledge and abilities, or is it better to be a finely tuned individual? Like, think of it, like, do you want to put all your stat points evenly into your character, or do you want to be really fucking good at that one thing and then join a party where everyone is really good at one thing, but you combine those skills together to form a single being of perfection?
I mean, it's going to depend on what you're going to be doing, right? I mean, not everybody... I mean, collaboration is going to be important for most stuff.
I agree.
Very rarely you're going to like find a profession where you're just doing one thing all yourself. At least not to be doing anything like really big.
So why do we focus on the well-rounded part?
So the well-rounded part is helpful to, I think, be able to kind of understand how the world works a little bit better. I mean, like if you are well-rounded and you know your way about like the sciences and you know on how to write well and you know on, you know, let's talk about like when you wrote a paper, like why would you write a paper when we were junior high and high school? Well, the reason you do that is it helps you do research and it tells you how to like do it properly.
Yeah.
You know, think about in current events on like
shit,
you know, or even our parents, like when you're in high school. Like right when we were in high school is right when they were just trying to teach you on how to like use the internet. But like, you know, when you go to or like in college or grad school, like you can't finish like college unless like you actually know like how to actually do real research.
Right. You know
what I mean? So like that's well-rounded. Knowing how physics works and how the weather works or geology.
And that it's not controlled by a political
And it's not,
spectrum.
it's not like Jewish space lasers that are controlling the weather. It's not,
Suck.
you know, that the earth is flat.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, a lot of those other things. You know what I mean? And I was talking like one of Heather's family members was talking about, you know, this was like, remember when they got that double hurricane?
Yes.
And then, you know, essentially they said it was, you know, there's evidently that where they're getting their sources of information said that it was, it was humans controlling the weather and they were trying to attack these mines and Joe Biden. And I told them, in so many words, like this isn't real. And then they told me, do your research. and I said, I was like, I went to grad school and like Southern Illinois University, like in all different universities have like their different thing. Like SIU is specifically a research institute. Like, and there's a whole different way on how our university worked versus other places. And as a research institute, like we go like crazy. Like I had to take an entire class on a grad level class exactly on how research was. And I told them this.
Fuck out, for real?
Yeah. And I told them this. I was like, I had to read an entire book. This book was just how to do architectural research.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense. I get that.
And I told them, I was like, looking, like, this is what research is. I was like, I had to like go all the way through high school and then in undergrad and then the graduate level to know enough to be able to learn on how to like ask the proper questions and you have to be able to interpret the research properly. And I was like, there's different ways to do it. There's quantitative research. There's qualitative research. There's all these different ways on how to do all these things.
If you're going to Google and looking at the first fucking answer, you are not researching.
I was like, yeah, if you're looking at YouTube, you're not researching.
Yeah, right.
Now, if you're somebody who did research on things and you're watching YouTube, you can filter through what's real and what isn't real
100%, yeah,
pretty easily. But like it's a slippery slope even with like research because like again, when you're in grad school and you have to do your research papers, like you'll often have to do research on the research paper to make sure that that your information is coming from a clean source.
True.
Because a lot of times, especially if it's something with like when it's any sort of like climate scientists or something like that, like you can have, and this happened at SIU. SIU was a huge research for like the coal industry, and you'd have like energy companies and that will come to SIU and they'll give you like a $50,000 grant to do a paper. Well, guess whose papers were funded?
Of course.
And who's going to get $50,000?
The ones that's benefiting the coal industry.
Yeah. So like you're going to get these things that'll be skewed in ways and doesn't happen all the time.
Always question who's behind it.
Yeah. It doesn't happen all the time, but like, understanding where the research comes from. Actually, one of the books in the time since we spoke last, one of the books that I went over, I think it's called The Merchants of Doubt. Was the name of the book. Hold on, let me tell you.
Every time we talk, I add more books to my list.
Hold on. There's like a few dozen books that I've gone through. If you ever want to, yeah, Merchants of Doubt is the name of the book. And they talked about like how after there was a massive glut of scientists after World War II. Because like,
of course they were, because all the Nazis came over here in hiding.
Well, not necessarily that, but there was a huge glut of scientists because of the Manhattan Project.
Yeah, right.
So you had you have all these scientists that were in the Southwest and in the Chicagoland area that were like all of a sudden like out of a job because the bomb worked.
Yep.
And they had nowhere to go, and they needed a job, and a lot of them were pretty anti-war. Or not? No, I'm sorry. They were They were pro-war. They were jingoists. They're like, my job is the job of science for war, and I want to continue this and make money with it. And they had like the greatest resume ever. I mean, they came up with a bomb to end all wars supposedly, and they wanted to keep doing it. So you had these people that were, very conservative. They were scientists, and they needed a job, and they had nothing to do. So they created all these institutes. Some of them were in California. There was like University of Chicago was one. And they were these places of study where, kind of in a way, because they had so much credibility, because they were scientists from the Manhattan Project, that they could kind of just, if they said like thumbs up or thumbs down, this is real or not, the American public would believe them. And these scientists were like the first scientists that that the tobacco industry hired.
Get the fuck out.
To do their quote unquote research.
Yeah.
To kind of say that things are good. And
here's a check, shut the fuck up.
So like if I were to read like the MacArthur Institute, like there's all these things, like when you would watch PBS.
Oh yeah. That's
and they would have all these institutes, like all these institutes that we watched when we were young were all funded by these mega conservative institutes because they wanted to kind of have their thumb in things. And the merchants of doubt, it was like an entire industry that was based off of just essentially being able to spread doubt in favor of these mega corporations
making money
so they can continue to make money. And it was the tobacco industry was like kind of the first go ahead at it. And they did great, like all the way from like the 1940s all the way up into, it wasn't until the 90s, I think, where they actually got in trouble for it. So it was a good like 50-year run.
Yeah.
And it was like a lot of the chemical industries got into it. Like they tried to go after them for acid rain. It didn't work out as well. But you know, the climate scientists now, like they'll for money, they'll be the 1% of scientists to say that it's not real. And then that's what they hyper focus on.
And they say, look at all the research that we have. It's like, bitch, you have one paper versus a billion. Shut the fuck up. And those are proven all the fucking time as being backed by a nefarious source.
Yeah.
Every single one of those, like these fucking idiots who believe that vaccinations are causing autism, because there was no such thing as autism before the 90s. Motherfucker. It's because we were killing kids in droves. That's why you never saw autistic people around.
What do you mean killing kids?
Book I read, Neurotribes. It was faux pas to have an autistic child in your house, someone you had to take care of, or a retarded child, or someone who was
kids with like issues,
kids with
like the
physical, mental,
JFK's daughter.
Yes,
yeah, they lobotomized her.
So what they would do is they would send these children away, like for school, or somewhere else. Or they would never tell anyone that they had the child, and they would send them money sometimes, and the institutions would write back and say, well, here's how your child's doing, blah, blah. And eventually these institutions would be like, it's fucking obvious these parents don't give a shit about these human beings. Do you want us to...
They became wards of the state?
Oh, no. They would kill them in droves, like in fucking piles of children or adults. They would just slowly kill them or quickly kill them because they have no money to take care of them, because the parents weren't sending money. The fucking government.
What's the name of this book?
Neurotribes.
Like neuroscience?
Yeah. It's a wonderful fucking history of autism. And it's like, did you know that shop by mail was invented by autistic people?
What's that mean?
Shop by mail, like on the back of a comic book, it would say, hey, send $5 and you get a box of whatever. It's because people didn't want to fucking leave the house because they were terrified of other human beings. They were terrified of being judged or whatever. People who didn't understand what was happening in culture. They invented fucking online shopping. They invented fucking science fiction because they don't understand the rules of our world. Science fiction makes complete fucking sense because any science fiction you ever read, there's fucking rules to the world, how things work. A lightsaber can only be used by a Jedi. A lightsaber can only be a certain amount of feet. It can only be certain colors. And here's what the colors mean and blah, 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 blah.
Was George Lucas autistic?
Well, okay. So the one thing I did learn about reading this book is without knowing a person and actually like conversing with them is you shouldn't label someone autistic, even on the spectrum, without like actually doing the research. Not as like a faux pas.
What do you mean by the research? You mean like being diagnosed by an actual person?
Yes. Like actually talking
not the research, but...
Yeah, right.
You should let them be seen by a professional and diagnosed.
Like my friend years ago saw a lot of autistic issues with me that she saw with her husband, she saw with her son. Her husband was slightly autistic and her son is autistic. And she goes, I see a lot of these things in you. And that's when I went to go get fucking tested for ADD and everything else. And I'm not on that spectrum, but I still hold a lot of the fucking issues. I don't like being around people. that might just be an anti-social thing, but going through this book, holy shit, does it open a lot of fucking doors that were like, I was questioning.
Interesting. I have it on my wish list.
It's a good book.
Have you read anything else?
No, but I've watched a lot.
What have you seen?
No, I won't say I watched a lot, but I watched stuff. Best film of the year. It didn't come out this year. It technically came out last year. But the best movie I've watched this year is Riddle of Fire. Holy shit, is this movie fucking awesome.
Who is it, indie or?
Yeah, it's indie. Do you know Vinegar Syndrome?
You told me about it. Yeah.
Okay. Vinegar Syndrome typically buys they're a releasing company. You know, they buy the rights to a movie and then they restore the film to like its best quality they can, and then they release it. This is a movie they actually helped produce to be made. And do you remember in the 80s when you would watch a movie like Goonies, right? Where it's like things were so surreal in the movie. But as a kid, you were just like, well, this is fucking reality. Kids are gonna go get kidnapped by gangsters. They're going to find pirates.
Definitely.
In the basement.
There's gonna be gold bullion down there too.
Like, but thinking back to the 80s movies, like
magical.
80s were like epically different than every other fucking decade when it came to storytelling. Because it was so like...
It was whimsical.
It was whimsical. It was bigger than life, but that big life...
Terry Gilliam was like...
Thank you. I was actually going to say Time Bandits.
Yeah.
Where it's like, when the kid just follows the Time Bandits, it's like...
This is going to happen.
This is going to happen, and no one's questioning it. Right?
The latchkey
Back
kids.
to the Future. Yeah, right. So this is not a movie that is set in the 80s. It is not trying to be an 80s movie, but it's taking that whimsy, that bigger than life feeling that we're just going to go with, and it uses that as its plot device. And it's really fun to watch. I haven't watched a fun movie in such a long time. I haven't watched a fun movie that wasn't like doing some kind of fun little like thing with it. Like Boy Kills World was a fun fucking movie to watch. But I'm not going to say everything it was fun.
Everything Everywhere All at Once was the last time I think I saw like a truly fun movie.
Same. Riddle of Fire, the plot is thin. Okay, there's not a lot going on. But the whole time you feel like... I felt like I was 8 years old sitting in front of my TV watching a movie I had never seen before.
Speaking of that, did you watch Skeleton Crew?
No, you talked very highly about it in the group chat, though.
Definitely exactly what you're talking about. 80s. It's like Goonies in Star Wars.
Get the fuck out, for real.
It is so much fun. I was not expecting that. I wasn't expecting that at all. Dude, fucking pirates. It's Goonies, man.
Star Wars has lost a lot of credit in my eyes.
I don't really know. I like a lot of the stuff that they've been doing for the TV shows. I think Endor is probably like one of the best things that they've had out there for a super long time.
Andor?
Andor.
Okay.
I fucking love Andor, dude. I loved Obi-Wan. I thought it was amazing.
I hated both.
But like there's a wall when it came to the sequel trilogy, and it's really hard for them to get past it.
Yeah.
Because it's really, really awful.
I think anytime they find that people are liking the dick that they are producing, they immediately oversaturate that dick and make it more diseased.
Well, now we can talk politics here. I think a huge Kathleen Kennedy said the women are Star Wars and that is the future. And like they really dumped a lot of women's stuff on you. Like, is it important to have women's stuff? Absolutely.
Fuck yes.
But like,
is it important to shove it down your fucking throat?
No. Like,
agreed.
Dude, just, like, make a good story.
Make a good character. Make a good story. That's all I fucking want.
Dude, Arcane is nothing but women, and Arcane is amazing.
And it never shoves it down your throat. You don't realize it until you're done, and you go, whoa.
Yeah, holy fuck, that was amazing. They just wrote good, strong women.
Oh my God. Arcane is probably some of the best TV I've ever seen.
Arcane is really incredible. Or
and season 2, I was not expecting season 2 to be good.
There was there was a lesbian like action film that came out earlier this year. Had Kristen Stewart in it.
I don't know if I thought.
Oh my God, dude. It's awesome. Like when you hear it on paper, you're like, oh my God, it's gonna be like a lesbian action flick. This is gonna be like, no, dude, it's like truly an amazing like action movie. And that happened to have like lesbian girls in it. It was fucking amazing.
I like that.
The way they sold it as this like lesbian thing.
That's the problem.
Had nothing to do with it. It was just really, really awesome.
Yeah. I am so fucking sick. I have been a giant proponent of LGBTQI+ for fucking ever. Okay. I think one of the most disgusting things you can do is jump on this train after it's already become a norm. And by shoving it in your face, you are literally fucking spitting on that culture.
Well, I mean, like, dude, what is it? There's like for trans, what is it? Like 1 in 100 is trans. 1 in 1,000 is trans.
I don't know the numbers.
I mean, it was like hyper focused on this last election cycle by Fox News and the right wing media.
Agreed.
Hyper focused on something that happens a handful of times.
Taylor fucking cunt is bitching about a trans senator.
Yeah, I mean, they're talking about like
you can't use our bathrooms. Shut the fuck up.
Like people are talking about like the bathrooms and people are talking about sports, and it's like, dude, this happens like a handful of times ever. I mean, it doesn't happen that often, but they've successfully made people think that it's a day-to-day thing. I know people that have specifically voted. They voted for Trump because they thought that kids were going to school and coming back with sex changes.
Because they're fucking dumb.
Which makes me go back to, why is it important to be well-rounded?
I understand your point here. I meant more profession-wise, not as a human being.
You're going to need to explain that more.
So I'm going to use D&D analogy. Okay. You have 6 stats that you can put numbers into, right? A well-rounded person, i.e. a job class, because in gaming, you're basically your job, right? Who the fuck cares about your personality in a game? I get that. As a human, of course we care about who you are, how well-rounded you are as a fucking human being, but as a job class. Okay. So let's say you're going to be in a party of 6 other people. Okay. I'm going to be the tank. So I'm going to make sure that I am super fucking tanky and I can take a shit ton of damage. I don't need to deal out the damage because that's what Bob over there is going to do. He's our DPS. He's going to fucking rock the damage. I'm going to make sure Bob doesn't get hurt. I'm going to hyper focus on this one thing for my job.
Okay. So, all right. Now let's add a small layer of reality to this.
And that's
What if your tank guy believes that his daughter's going to have to wrestle a boy instead of a girl, and he doesn't want to, and that's so important to him that he's not going to do his quote unquote tank shit? That's the problem, because he doesn't understand how facts work.
Yeah. Now, again, human being. I want the well-rounded person. I want the person who knows how to research. I want the person. I just want people who know how to question things.
Well, so here's another thing. Like when all the election stuff went through, there was like this massive like questioning of like, who are the people that surround me?
Yeah.
Like how do you even vote for this? And there's a lot of like people kind of came out of the woodwork to like write their 2 cents. And one of the things that really hit with me, because like, dude, I'm a poor kid. I was a really poor kid growing up. I had a hard time. You know, I had a father who had mental health issues due to the Vietnam War. I had to go to war myself to pay for school. I was like many veterans who was homeless because of it. And, you know, and I had to make like, I saw the world in a very different way, but I tried hard and I was able to get, you know, multiple degrees and get a grad school degree and, you know, work at an architecture firm and do all the things that I wanted. So like, to me, it felt like, you know, not necessarily the American dream is like a really real thing, but it is possible.
Yeah.
But something that they said, like, because they always talk about like the elites. Like, when you think of the elites, you're like, that's definitely fucking Republicans. Like that's people who, Like those are the people who have all the fucking money. They have all the money and they're paying for all these things. Like, how are you going to get like a bunch of ragtag, you know, group of LGBT LMNOPs and black folks and Mexican folks? You got to get all these people to work together. None of them have money. Like, that's the side that I want to be on. But a lot of those people jump ship, and they all across the board think that Democrats are the elites, and they. Well, I know you scoff, and I did too. But they're like, okay. And you and I have talked about this before. When you were young, you were told to go to college, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're told to go to college because if you want to be something,
you can't live a good life.
You can't live a good life unless you go to college.
That was the boomer mentality. That was the boomer lie.
But okay, but like you and I, we both have grad school degrees.
We do.
How
many people are actually doing what they went to school for?
Hold on.
Okay.
We both have grad school degrees. Mm-hmm. So they see you and I as the elite.
Jesus Christ.
And the reason for it is like they were also told, if you don't get a college degree, you're gonna not be anything in life.
Right,
and there's a fucking shit ton of people who went to college and didn't finish.
Right.
There's even fewer who finished. There's even fewer who went to grad school.
Yeah, right.
And there's a huge list of people who never even like stepped foot on a university.
Yeah.
What do those people think? Where are they on the scale? You know? Like if you and I like see that like, fuck, we did all this stuff and we still feel like we don't have the American dream, where do those people think that they fit in society? And there was a huge like disservice to them of like there was no like other route to say like you're really worth something. You know what I mean? And you know, if educated people are sitting there like trying to tell them like, you know, this is how you're supposed to live your life. This is what you're supposed to be doing. And you see that those people are like making money, but like society just didn't work out for you. Right. And like, why would you vote for the Democrats? It's like the way that you wanted didn't work for me. I couldn't afford to go to school, or by the way that things are going, I wasn't able to finish, or I wasn't able to go all the way through grad school. I wasn't able to do all those things. Like you guys are at the top of the mountain and I'm not. And I'm going to vote for this fucking lunatic because fuck you. Like when you hear it that way,
spite voting.
It's spite voting, and it makes total fucking sense. You know, they don't know like, all right, like, dude, like if you're going to go into the university system, there's a whole like set of politics that are part of like being a university. And then like when you work at these places that like a professional level job, like there's a whole nother level of politics in there too.
You're goddamn
like
right.
The grass is always greener, but like, you know, the guy who's, you know, an electrician or a carpenter or a mechanic, they're just like, well, fuck, you know, back in the 80s, they said to go to college and I'm not. Mm-hmm. So what the fuck does that make me? You know, life isn't turning out very well for me. And this guy's saying that, you know, yeah, you didn't go to college. And the reason why life is hard for you, not because, you know, people aren't fucking like billionaires aren't paying their taxes, but it's because Mexican folks are coming over the border and taking your job. And for them, in a lot of cases, when you see, you know, if I'm an electrician and they see, you know, there's other electricians in the area who are getting my work and I'm not, like I could see how they would be upset by that.
I can see how they'd be upset by that because they aren't questioning things. Okay.
Which is why they should be well-rounded.
The fucking, yeah. I get, as a fucking human, I get that. I meant as a job class, as a fucking career.
Yeah, but like they're not ants. We're not ants.
No,
like there should.
That's why it was a question.
There should be. I do think that like another book that I read.
Oh shit, dude!
Another book that I read.
You need to start making pamphlets.
So I read this because there's a guy named Orrin Cass. Orrin Cass was like the economist that was behind Mitt Romney when he was running.
Okay,
and he is being touted as like the guy for the new incoming administration. A lot of the stuff that they want to do, Project 2025 type of stuff, and what the stuff that they want to do with the economy these are Orrin Cass ideas. Okay. So I wanted to understand what was coming on.
Automatic piece of shit in my mind.
Okay. But The Once and Future Worker is the name of the book. And
I've heard of this.
Yeah. So this guy wrote this book Like JD Vance fucking read this.
Oh, okay. All the more reason that fucking.
I mean, like this is going to happen. So I think it's important. Like read what your enemy believes in, right? And, not enemy, but like
they fucking are. If you want to break it down,
not enemy, but like the way this is how they see the world, right?
Okay. Yes.
And
yes.
The big thing that Oren Cass was talking about is, they really feel like he has a lot of these beliefs as well, that like, there was this story that everybody should have gone to college, and if you didn't go to college, you're SOL. And there really should be like some sort of dignity back to work, like the idea of like dignity in work.
I understand that.
And he does feel like there should be other routes. Like this is how they're going to dismantle the Department of Education. They feel like there should be other routes for kids. Like, maybe you don't need to be well-rounded. Maybe you're just going to learn how to be a mechanic. And there should be some sort of dignity in that. And people shouldn't say, well, if you don't go to college, you're not going to be this type of B, you're going to be this type of worker B.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But like they somehow want to bring dignity back to all these things. And by kicking out migrants
that's where you lose me. That's where like you lose the fucking argument. Cause like you're literally, it has nothing to fucking do with that.
I agree. But but it's the way that they see the world. Like it doesn't
need to villainize.
It doesn't like this is you don't need to villainize.
No,
it
they
helps.
do.
It helps with their narrative. Yes, to villainize.
That's rule number 2 or 3 is you need a scapegoat. You need to villainize someone because it is never
that is the
your
Hitler
fault.
school of
yes.
the Nazi youth.
Yes. You need an enemy to rally against, because why would we ever take the blame for ourselves? Why would we be adult enough to understand that we're bringing some of the shit upon ourselves and maybe we need to be introspective and work together to get past that? No, they're keeping us down.
Well, if they were well-rounded, they would understand. But the problem is if you don't go to college, and you don't have that opportunity to do that, it's hard. Like there's a reason why you and I were like, fuck, like this guy's the shit that Trump is doing is scary, and we've seen this playbook before, and it's because you've read the books and you had to write the papers and you had to do the actual research on things, and and the guy who's swinging a hammer up on a roof, he don't have to do that. But but he feels shitty about himself. You know what I mean? And he shouldn't. There should be a dignity of work.
Should be.
I've never said anything, and this is super frustrating to me. I've never said anything bad about plumbers, electricians. Those people, like, they fucking run the world.
You're goddamn right they do.
I think nothing but highly above them.
Correct.
But I've met a lot of people who are quote unquote working class that love calling me college boy.
Same.
And putting me down.
Same. Well, again, dude, finding an enemy.
Well, dude, but it's also like, I mean, like, they see you as like the guy on top of the mountain. Like you're the common enemy to hate.
It's so fucking weird though. Why do you want to hate anybody? I don't want to hate the right wing. I really fucking don't, man.
It's
just so easy to.
But listen to us. We're 2 fucking arrogant assholes sitting in your basement.
White men. Arrogant assholes.
Yeah. I mean, how fucking awful. They don't like that. And fucking, do you blame them? I mean, dude, life didn't work out for me until like way later in life. Even when I got like my undergraduate degree, it was like university studies because I had too many college credits. And like, what the fuck am I going to do? I mean, what are you going to do with a university? Like, you got a chip on your shoulder. And
Nothing.
You can't do anything with it.
No.
I needed to have a degree, and it was the only thing I could talk the university into giving me, because but you get a chip on your shoulder about stuff. You know what I mean?
Insanely fucking true. I saw it in me when I got out of grad school. I saw it in you, like right when you got out. I think you get it for like just short of a year. Like, everyone I've seen come out of grad school has that chip on their shoulder, and they're like, I'm better than this conversation. And then I think reality
I'm talking about before that. I'm talking about like
my bad. Okay.
When I got out of the military and like I saw all my friends.
Yeah.
Like going on and having their lives. Like I was fucking mad at everybody. Like I saw like everybody I went to NIU with. I was like so jealous of all you guys. It was awful. I hated it. I thought for sure. I knew. I was like, those people are better than me. And I made a horrible decision.
Do you think that because of just the choice of going into military, or do you think it was doctrinized into you?
Because society said you have to go to college and make something of your life. And all you guys went to NIU. I went to NIU, but I dropped out. I was the loser that dropped out.
But I don't think anyone ever thought that.
It doesn't matter. That's what was going on in my head. And I know damn well there's a lot of people that voted for Trump that feel I'm a fucking loser. They're not, though. They're not.
Right.
But there's a lot of people that say I'm a fucking loser because I didn't do A, B, and C. I didn't go to college. I didn't do all these things. It's because that's what we were told. We were all told that.
Yes. And dude, I say that in my fucking class at
the big
college.
reason why I fucking went to war to get a college degree because I thought I had to make something of myself.
But that preaches way more to a fucking societal norm, which has always been bullshit.
Then it goes back to what Orncast is saying. They want to bring a dignity back to work.
Which is
like,
it's a
the
great
thing that's frustrating
idea.
Is that like Orncast has a lot of great stuff to say, but the problem is that he specifically big business feels like they have they weren't any problem in any of this issue.
Of course they don't think that.
They're like, it's everybody else's fault, but it's never big business's fault.
That's it.
That is super frustrating.
It's Aaron Rand bullshit right there.
And the thing that's also like really terrifying is, they want to bring the reason for the tariffs. I mean, it's like they want to just you can't rebuild the economy back. I understand. I kind of in a way understand what they want to do.
Do you really?
What they want to do is they want to fucking completely tank the economy.
That it's fucking obvious from the decisions.
I mean, but the thing is, if you tank the economy, the 1% class can buy everything up, and they can kind of run society. Like that's how the oligarchy is going to happen. Is that like you tank society, everything becomes cheap. I mean, you and I all lived through the 06-08 crisis. Everything tanked and everybody just I was a massive transfer of wealth from all these people losing their homes and all shit like that. Like it's going to happen again.
No shit.
Like there is a small possibility.
But don't worry, eggs might be cheaper.
There is a small possibility that if you can find other venues, there is a huge possibility that if you want to start a business, and I know Kamala Harris is going to give you $50,000 to start a small business.
Which
now if Trump did something like that, where you're going to get a good chunk of change if you want to start a small business. There's a lot of resources that we have that we went overseas for. The entire infrastructure of our economy is to get cheap labor and cheap materials other places, so it's as cheap as here possible. And the infrastructure, all these little towns that were all over America, like their mines and stuff, the EPA doesn't allow you to do anything in them, which I kind of get that. There's not a lot you can do there, but if you can build your infrastructure back up, you can create raw material to give to these things so things can be manufactured in America. That could be good. But the problem is that by the way they're doing it, by not having a real game plan, by having a concept of a plan, the only people who can afford it are going to be a handful of companies.
No shit.
And everything's going to get wrecked. And the transfer of wealth is going to go to even higher.
Yes.
I'm just I think the thing that I'm really, really interested in is how are they going to blame Biden for this? It's really, how are people going to buy it hook, line, and sinker?
Well, so they're going to regardless because it's a cult and they believe whatever they say. I read a great fucking article right before the election. There were these economists who did war games. They got together for a week, and what basically they said, if Trump wins, here's all the shit he's telling people he's going to do. Here's what we think is really going to happen. Now let's actually run through them and see what would happen down the road. Okay. And then they said, well, what would happen if you went against this and like, tried to make it better and blah, blah. So like they just had like a big old fucking writer's room war game session of what the American politics would be if Trump was elected. And I read the whole fucking thing, John. It's a long fucking read. But the one thing I really took away from it that I found was really interesting is they said, no matter what, do not protest. They said there was zero positivity about protesting under the
new regime,
autocratic, whatever.
Autocratic. Yeah.
And he said, this is why. In the regime that's going to happen, that will fucking happen, if you protest, which is a fucking right we have, all they have to do, they don't have to legally claim the protesters are terrorists. They just have to say it and get people to believe it. And then you have the National Guard, which Trump has said multiple times, just shoot them.
Yeah.
Here's my fear, and I think this is your fear too, because you mentioned to me once, but retract it if you need to. Yes, the U.S. military, the Army, whatever, cannot step on American soil to fight for America unless there is an aggression against America, correct?
You can't have federal troops going against civilians.
Unless...
you can't. I mean, there has to be like some sort of, if you, like it would have to be, like it would have to be it have to be some sort of foreign something. So like foreign being like Mexicans would be foreign.
Uh-huh.
Oh, or Muslims would be foreign.
Brown skin in a crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if they can like somehow believe that you're a member of ISIS or whatever, bickety bam, they fire bullets into there.
Do they have to actually figure out and research and find that person is
they will investigate themselves and find that they've done no wrong.
Yes. That's it right there. And that's what the war game said. They said they don't have to fucking prove anything. They just have to say it. And then they have the full reign of the military to kill innocent civilians. And they may get penalized afterwards. But now you have quelled the fucking nation because you have murdered innocent civilians.
It does like gross me out that he is already trying to, and by he I mean Trump, is trying to get like loyalty oaths from high up military.
Yeah,
like that does worry me,
dude. Okay, what I've been thinking this whole time, and I've been challenging everyone I bring this up to figure out a better word for this, but I haven't figured it out yet. Okay. The only thing standing in Trump's way, and when I say Trump, I don't want to say just the man because the man's a fucking idiot. He can't do anything by himself. I'm saying everything that is happening. Okay. The only thing standing in the way is decorum. Okay.
Which he doesn't follow at all.
Which he doesn't follow. The only thing standing in his way is you shouldn't do that, or that's not the way things are done. Hey, what? That fucker doesn't give a fuck about how things should be done or how things should be handled.
Makes you feel uncomfortable how thinly veiled democracy is, just like kind of like a gentleman's.
I agree with that.
Gentleman's honor. The founding fathers like had no idea that somebody like Donald Trump would ever be in office. Like they had no clue. There was a lot of discussion on like what they called them the executive. They never in their right mind thought that somebody like him would ever get into power, like somebody who was this corrupt. They didn't think it would ever be possible that the American people would ever do that. But then again, they didn't mean for Americans to vote. They were they were a true republic, and only like wealthy landowners would be voting in that.
And they didn't believe black people were fucking real people.
Yeah. Well, no, only the South.
3/5.
The South didn't believe it.
But that's bullshit.
No. They're really like
you can't say the South versus the North.
You really can. You really can.
No, because
in this case, like when they had the 13 colonies,
yes,
they really, really wanted to be able to push away from slavery then.
Yeah,
but they couldn't because the South wanted to make sure that it was going to be embedded into the Constitution that they could still have slavery. And they couldn't do it because if they would have pushed away and not decided to be a part of like the 13 like the 13 countries, the South had like super strong ties with Great Britain because the textile industry was huge. Like the Industrial Revolution was able to take off because it had free labor and cheap textiles from America.
No shit.
So if they didn't accept them, and the North didn't accept it was all compromised to allow the 3/5 of a human.
There we go.
That's the only reason why it happened. But they didn't want it to happen.
We are on the same page.
There was there was a lot of things that they were trying to do. It was under duress and compromise why it happened. And it was all the South wanting that. It was because it was a handful of plantation owners. It was literally like, and it's essentially what the Republican Party is now. It's
the oligarchy.
They want a handful of people to run everything.
Correct.
That's why, and the reason why you hear a lot of that, like the idea of, like, have you ever heard anybody say, like, you'll say, like, this is a democracy, and then they'll tell you, no, it's not, it's a republic.
Correct.
Like, you've been hearing a lot of that lately, right?
Yeah.
So the reason for that, there is a guy. So he is a kind of like a tech bro philosopher, and who like JD Vance loves, all those people, Peter Thiel. The guy's name is Curtis Yarvin. Do you know who Curtis Yarvin is?
Name doesn't ring a bell at all.
Okay. Anybody, like the 5 guys that listen to this.
I was going to say, yeah.
Look up Curtis Yarvin. He originally had like, he wrote, it's everything that he does. He's a tech bro who ended up like making a shit ton of money due to the .com boom. And he just kind of has his own political philosophy where he believes that, the reason why he has money and the other like tech bro industry people have money is that like genetically he's superior.
Oh, good.
And through the course of like history, the only way that we've been able to have like anything really, really great is when people are being suppressed. So he wants to bring back kings. Like he believes there should be one strong ruler. He says it should be kings. At the best would be a king, or to have, bring back the republic. Like when you hear people like saying like we're not a democracy or republic, that's him. That's like they're just regurgitating stuff that he said back. And like that's JD Vance. That's Peter Thiel.
Yeah,
that's the
Vance scares me, by the way.
Vance was brought in because Trump's son.
Right. I knew
Trump Jr. and Eric and all them, like they like
the Dingleberries. Yeah,
they liked Peter Thiel. They are the ones that brought in Vance because he's one of these tech bros too.
Yeah,
and it's so frustrating. I read Vance's book back in 2018. Like it's frustrating because he was dude, I could totally see myself. Like he was a poor kid. He had a shitty family life. He joined the military too. He was a Marine a little bit. He was there after I was. But like he got out.
I don't give a shit if you're that big of a piece of shit. I don't care what your background is. I don't care if you had a chance.
He got a lot of clout. He got a lot of clout because he was a Marine amongst guys that never stepped foot, on a battlefield.
I don't give
outside
a fuck.
of video games.
I don't care.
Yeah, but they did. So that's why he got a lot of
But
that
you're
clout.
a piece of shit. You don't get my respect in one avenue just because.
But the reason why Vance was able to, catch so many people's attention was because like he wrote the book Hillbilly Elegy. They turned it into a movie. He ended up skyrocketing. He ended up being a senator out of nothing. And it was all with Peter Thiel money.
Of course.
It was all paid for by tech bros. And so, yeah, dude, look up Curtis Yarvin. That is a scary motherfucker. Did you listen to the podcast Behind the Bastards?
I started to, and I had to stop. Okay. It got real fucking boring.
Oh, well.
I couldn't fucking do it. It would I listened to like 3 episodes and I'm like, I hate these guys so much.
Okay. Well, they're very thorough. The guy who does it, so not to you, but to the other people, the guy who does it he's a journalist. He's been a war correspondent.
Oh, it didn't feel like that.
Yeah, no, he does. I think he might originally be from Chicago, but he's over on the West Coast now. But he was the editor for Cracked Magazine. He's a super interesting.
Why didn't he bring any of that interesting shit to the show? Because the show was boring as fuck.
Well, which show were you listening to?
I don't know. I listened to the first few. And it was so...
The first few back from like 13, 14 years ago?
I don't know.
Dude, if you listen to the beginning of any show, it's going to be fucking awful. Yeah, including our show.
Oh, it was fucking garbage. Speaking of which, I got piss. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. I got to talk about this stuff with myself.
You don't got to talk about yourself. I'll just edit this out.
No. I'm going to tell them other stuff that I've been reading. Because you guys should totally listen to this stuff. I'm going to read off my reading list. All right. So, I think the last time we spoke, some of the stuff I was reading. What was the last thing I was reading? Excuse me, the meeting. All right. So, Bowling Alone, I think, was like the last thing that we were talking about. That was essentially like the people are noticing that like the groups that people would normally join outside of home or work is dwindling, which is why they call like people used to be in bowling leagues and the amount of people in bowling leagues went down. And there was some sort of like social fabric that got lost in that. When I was talking to Jay, he said he doesn't believe in any of that, but I don't know. Don't trust Jay about how he spends his spare time or definitely his food choices. So another thing I read was Escape into Meaning. It's by Evan Pouch. He's the guy that does Nerd Writer 1. It was pretty good. It's like a lot of short stories. Pretty good. Merchants of Doubt is very good. It's like I was telling Jay, it's about the...
You giving book reviews?
I am. Cool. Well, just like a quick like rundown.
Actually, I think that's really, really cool. We didn't waste time, so thank you.
Merchants of Doubt, I talked about with Jay. It's about how the scientists from the Manhattan Project needed a job and they decided to lie as a job. The Founding Myth is really good. It's, about a lot of the mythologies of how the Constitution was written. I ended up like spinning off of that stuff.
That's fun.
I ended up reading all of the what are they called? The Federalist Papers.
Oh, get the fuck out. Did you really?
Yeah. Those are, okay. So the Federalist Papers, there's like no fucking joke. So they flat out say like, if you don't like the way that the Constitution is going, you just simply overthrow the government. Like that's, if you want to know what the founding fathers thought.
Sounds French as fuck.
Like fucking, well, no, we did it first. The French followed after us.
Probably, but they're doing it better.
Yeah, the French are way better at it. Another thing that I read was the happiness hypothesis. There's a guy named John Haidt. I read another book that he did a long time ago called Righteous Mind, which is the difference between the brains of people who are conservative versus liberal. It's very, very cool. And he is I think he's a geneticist.
That's awesome.
He hits these things as like, he'll hit it as like the way as geneticists would hit it. And he would look at it as in a way that somebody who's like cognitive behavioral therapy would hit it, like a psychologist. And it's super interesting the way that he does stuff. And the big thing that he's real famous for is when he talks about like your ego.
Yeah.
And the super ego and you and like how the brain works and how people work is that you're on an elephant. It's like the rider on an elephant. And like your ego is the elephant.
Okay.
Like you might be able to get an elephant to go somewhere, but you're on the elephant and it's going to go wherever it's going to take you. Like your ego is just going to do whatever.
All right.
And you're just a rider on the elephant. There's nothing you could do about your ego. It's going to be there.
Yeah.
You could do your best to try and get it to go where you're going, or you could do your best to, I don't know, just kind of accept the fact of where you're going. And then they had the super ego is like the old guy that's telling you how to ride the elephant is like the super ego.
Wow.
So it's actually really interesting.
That's a good.
And that's like
What about the id then?
I don't remember.
Everyone cuts the id out when
But what he does for the happiness hypothesis is, again, he hits it up with like how like he goes over multiple cultures, and then he talks about like, you know, the way the brain works and all these things, and just essentially talk about like how people are happy. And he has a formula. Let me see if I can remember. The formula works. Happiness equals kind of like your happiness start level plus kind of where you are in life plus the things that you do. So like your happiness level is like, some people are just like super happy all the time. Like some people, it could just be a pig in shit. Like no matter what's going on, they're going to be happy. Fredo's like that. It's just super, super, like you don't need much to make some people happy.
Okay.
Right. And like, if you want to be able to improve that, like you either do, you take pills, which will work. Cognitive CBT, the cognitive behavioral therapy.
Oh yeah.
Or what's the thing with the breathing?
CPAP?
No.
Asthma?
No.
Breath?
No.
Snoring.
Meditation. More meditation.
The thing with the breathing.
Meditation. Those will help you. Those will help you with your like your start level of like just how happy you are normally.
Okay.
Your Latin life is like your job, where you live.
I'm guessing family,
stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's going to be like the things that you kind of have a minor say in, but it's like where you are. And then your like kind of like your social groups and stuff like that. Okay. That's like the stuff that you do outside of work. That's like, that is going to,
that's choices.
Those are your choice. Well, that's essentially like if you are going to, if you're like in a D&D group, like that can bring you happiness. Or if you're like exercising and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that'll do that. So those three things, that's where he gets happiness from. I gave you like a quick synopsis of that one. The, what's another one?
How do you increase that then?
I just told you.
Fair.
Not my fault you weren't listening. Mythos. Mythos is super cool. Stephen Fry does this.
Oh, shit.
Mythos is just Stephen Fry retelling all of mythology, like Greek mythology, from the beginning, and it's just fucking charming as hell. It's Stephen Fry
reading it.
No, he just like he's gonna retell you all of.
I know, but he's talking, not
talking.
Written.
Yeah, no, this is the audiobook.
Oh, 100%. I'd be down for that.
Mythos. Stephen Fry's Mythos is fucking so incredibly entertaining. Like he'll be sitting there talking about like how Zeus, you know, how like Zeus is the jock and how he like totally had a thing for his sister and his dad was an asshole.
Oh my fucking God, I love that.
It's so fun. That is so incredibly fun. If you want like a nice palate cleanser, and like in between like a lot of this stuff, I need a massive palate cleanser.
Yeah,
it's really hard.
Your shit's getting deep.
Man. What was the next one? I read a thing on the Whiskey Rebellion. Finally, that one was long enough.
I remember you talking about that.
The Whiskey Rebellion was all the stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
With the taxes.
That's your palate cleanser?
No. Anyway, the Whiskey Rebellion was entertaining. It's just like a small part in history after the revolution, where we had to come up with taxes because, specifically in like Massachusetts.
Wait, where?
In Massachusetts. What did I say? They still had to pay taxes and everything. They had to like essentially pay for the war. Like they went off to fight this war for all these rich motherfuckers, and they came back and they're like, "Well, you owe us all this money now." Like, motherfucker, I was just fighting a war for you, dickheads. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Well, you have to pay us back.
Sounds real fucking familiar.
And and by the way, you have to do it with this new kind of money that you don't have. So I ended up like starting all these wars and stuff, and it goes to show that what's his name? George Washington is a huge prick because he went down and he fucking slaughtered them all.
I've heard of nothing positive about him other than the bullshit shit we've been fed over our lives.
So George Washington, the big reason why he was great was he was a genius in
war, right? Like he was a general.
He was a genius in running away. Fucking
get
master.
the fuck out.
He was a master class in getting the fuck out. Like like his escape from Valley Forge. I think it's Valley. Yeah. Anyway, he's like he was really good at getting his ass kicked, but being able to get out of stuff. So in D&D, what is that when you can slip away?
Escape.
Yeah, so he's like off the charts. Off the charts with that.
I'm thinking
the other thing that why he was really good was that he left after 2 terms. He's like, this is enough. He could have been king. His like we could have like King George Washington the 20th.
I was gonna say they were trying to make
they wanted him,
right?
but he's like no, 2's enough. Like the fact that he left set a precedence.
One of the few things I've heard about him that I really like.
Yeah. So, and then I got a wild hair up my ass, and I actually listened.
Just one? I've seen your ass, John.
The wildest hairs. There's so many hairs. I actually listened to the entire A Song of Ice and Fire, all of it. I just finished it all.
Holy shit, man.
There's been a lot of stuff since like last time we talked.
I just imagine you go to work and you're like, I'm working. And you sit at a desk and you just put on earphones and you just listen to 8 hours. You go, I'm going home.
This is mostly just me driving.
Jesus Christ, man.
Because it's like an hour to work, an hour back. So it's 2 hours a day.
That's still not enough.
It's from June. Oh, yeah, dude. Like, Jesus, dude. I think the last one, I think was like 46 hours.
The book?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've listened to them. They're thick.
Yeah. And I for some weird reason, I was just like, I got a feeling he's going to be done with the next book soon. Like they had something on there.
I don't care anymore.
I really did. I thought for sure, like he was writing something on his post, and I'm like, it's going to happen soon. And
dude,
I got to be done
like
in time.
18 of the chapters.
I know it's frustrating, and he's like written all these other books. He recently just said,
suck.
He recently has said like, I don't think it's going to happen. Like it's the first time ever he's admitting like I'm 79 years old and it's probably not going to happen, and he's worried about his legacy. I think he recently just had a friend die. And
wouldn't that spark the fucking fire to do it anyway?
I think so, but he's a millionaire. You don't give a fuck.
Did I tell you? Oh no, sorry. You're in your thing. I'm gonna make a quick.
I did the Once and Future Worker. Very interesting. The 5th book for the Bobiverse.
Oh, I didn't know there was a 5th one.
Yeah,
is it new?
Yeah, by Dennis E. Taylor. The Not Till We Are Lost came out.
Not Till We Are Lost.
Yep, that came out in September. And then the one I'm listening to now is called Debt. It's the one where it's like the anthropologist does an etymology on debt. It's fucking absolutely. I got about 8 hours left on that one. That one's super good. About halfway through. Very entertaining. So now that you're done pooping and I'm done.
I just had to pee.
Now that you're done peeing out of your butt, I'm done with all of those things. What have you?
After you leave, I'm going to give my rundown of the movies and TV shows because I write them in a book now. I put them up on like my table upstairs.
That is super smart. If we did these more often,
it'd be fucking epic.
It'd be way easier to remember.
Yeah, no shit.
I think like Arcane Arcane was really big that I listened to. Fucking love the newer thing of Arcane. It's so frustrating when I'll go through like YouTube or Facebook and somebody be like, this is why the second season of Arcane was disappointing. And I was like, what fucking show were you watching? That was amazing.
It was, so the first season took like what, 8 years to make, 7 or 8 years. And Netflix said, you're greenlit for season 2. Can you have it next year? And the entire studio said, what? And they pumped it out in a year and a half.
It's $250,000 they spent on that.
What?
No, $250 million.
Oh, I was going to say no fucking way.
$250 million they spent on that.
Okay, that sounds way more correct.
Which just seems incredibly cost effective because that's 10 hours of that level. Like those people, they might want to fucking riot. Like how did they do that? And it's so fucking crazy innovative. It's so beautiful. So for work, I've been banging this drum at work. Like when we talk to clients, we'll give them an idea of like what the building's going to look like, and we give them renderings. And the thing that everybody says, like, well, we want photorealistic. We want photorealistic
because they have no vision.
Well, they want to be kind of like spoon fed on what it's going to look like, right? But like when you look at past architectural renderings, there's been moments, especially like on times. Like when you like new visions on how things will look, there's like different ways that they would show renders that they had. Like Frank Lloyd Wright did some like really neat things that were like really out there. You know what I mean? As far as like what renders look like. And there was more about like the feeling of the space as opposed to making it look photorealistic.
Bingo. Hey, dude, that's my fucking bread and butter right there. Feeling.
Yeah. And when I tell them that, like they're like, well, no, it's wrong. Like I actually talked to the national director, and he said, well, this is what people like. And I said, if you watch your films, and I said, and if you go to, it all started with, as far as like the super massive hyperrealistic CGI was Final Fantasy. I said, when they started like doing the thing where they're counting individual strands of hair,
right?
It was like a war of attrition with how like close you could get, you know, when they're talking about like skin texture on like the people on Incredibles and stuff like that. And it started going and going and going. And I said, like, and that was great. And like making sure that the jiggle physics and everything is working perfectly. But I said, if you're looking at the things that are winning Academy Awards now, and you look like into the Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse,
Wolf Callers, or the Irish film.
Yeah, and you're looking at that.
That's the sequel.
Yeah, that's actually the one director, the guy who I tried to get here to do the.
Yeah.
He that's the one that he had mentioned. He's like all for it. The Illinois director is like all for it
because that's what becomes recognizable.
Now you got a style and you got a look.
Stylistic.
And I told him, I was like if I'm going to give you a sketch of what your building could look like, or like a more of a feeling render, like they're going to want to put that on their wall. They're going to want to share that with people.
Correct.
And when I did the rendering for North Aurora, I did more of like a stylized feeling render. And guess what? Like the construction managers, when they did their lookbook of what that thing looked, guess what was on the cover?
Get the fuck out! Was it really?
It was one of those renders, not the photorealistic render that we did at the end. It was those because it's stylized.
Because it makes cool. You feel.
It was this neat. It was like a neat looking render that nobody's like really seen before. Unique. So there's that. That's what I yeah. So like the new type of animation and stuff, I fucking adore it. I think Arcane's awesome. Have you been watching Karate Kid?
Cobra Kai. Not the new episodes. This is gonna sound like such a hoity-toity piece of shit kind of thing to say, but when I realized they split up the season just to release a couple episodes early, I lost all interest. I will finish it, but I don't give a shit about any of the characters anymore.
Heather and I love it, and it's such fun writing.
Yeah, it was.
I love it.
Good.
I love it.
Good.
I'm really excited about it, and it's like just such fun fan service.
Yeah,
it's like Deadpool 3, just pure fan service, and it's
super fun.
Really awfully written.
Yeah,
it's not the greatest writing. It's just really fun to watch.
Yeah.
What did you think of Deadpool 3?
It was fun. I may not watch it again.
Yeah, I don't
really care.
I don't think I don't know comics at like the level that like Pez does. And I think he would probably I bet like he really glommed onto a lot of stuff. And I think you do for a lot of things. I never really watched the superhero, or I never really read superhero comics. It was always the other types. But I could see there was a lot of things.
I read them when I was young because that's all I could find, but I was never into superheroes. I remember I bought a comic book called Bats, Cats, and Cadillacs. Yes. And I was like, wait a minute. There can be comic books without superheroes? And that's when I lost all fucking interest. I was like, oh my God. There's actual cool stories out here where people aren't fighting.
Evil Ernie was the first time.
Oh, Evil Ernie was dope as shit.
That's the very first thing that I read that was just like, this isn't like, superheroes. This is fucking cool as shit. Yeah. I felt like I was getting away with something when I was reading it.
Right.
It was super cool. Like the first time you bought like a Marilyn Manson CD and it came in brown paper. That's what it felt like when I was like reading Evil Ernie. I thought it was so cool.
I get that.
Yeah, it was really awesome.
I remember when I read Faust, and I thought it was so amazing because the art was so vivid and it was so beautiful to look at. and it was so like it had so much sex and gore and violence. And I remember reading it going, I hope one day I understand what the fuck's going on because I am so confused. And I still don't. I've reread it. I still don't know what's happening.
You know, there was something that you got me into really big, and I've always wanted to go back to it. And I think you actually got me more of the either you gave them to me or I found them.
Blood and Guts?
No, it wasn't Blood and Guts.
That's a long fun story.
Oh, what was it? The disposable assassin.
Oh, Scud. Fuck yeah, dude.
I wanted to read Scud. So I love like the character design for Scud was so fucking cool.
You know who wrote that, right?
No.
Dan Harmon's roommate. Dan Harmon wrote half of them.
What?
Yeah. What's his name?
Dude.
Not Ridley. The other guy. Fuck, I'm forgetting.
From Rick and Morty?
No, not Justin Roiland. The guy who wrote and directed Monster House and he did Lego Movie and fucking everything else. Yeah, that was his.
Dude, oh my God. Now I definitely got to read it.
Oh my God. It is going back to Scud is amazing.
Because I love the look of it. It was so
much
cool.
to it.
It's so cool. Did it finish?
Yeah.
How long was it?
Oh, fuck. I know you can get the brick.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the omnibus?
Yeah, the omnibus. I don't remember how many issues, but if you go on eBay, I feel really bad. I'm forgetting the guy's name. I would be terrible on Jeopardy. But if you go on eBay and look up signed Scud, he sells them. He signs them and sells them at cover price.
Really?
He doesn't want to make money off it. He just wants people to read it. So if almost 90% of them on eBay is coming from his house.
Oh my God. So I can buy the brick on eBay?
I would think so.
All right. I got to look it up now.
This is good podcasting.
Yeah, this is good podcasting.
Man, it's for us. We're not trying to do the show.
Scud, the disposable assassin.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to put this on my wish list real quick.
Do you go to Hamilton Books?
No, I haven't even heard of it.
Hamilton Books, everything is fucking cheap, but they don't keep things in stock. So it's like if they get something, they might have it for a while, but the prices are really fucking great.
Have you been doing Christmas shopping?
I'm not really doing shopping this year, not altruistically, but because I haven't had work since the early year.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
And we're a little nervous about going into next year. So we are highly cutting things back. So happy Christmas, John. I bought you a sticker that's upstairs.
I got some stuff for you.
Please don't. You don't have to.
I already have. Heather and I, we actually went out for...
You went out for Black Friday?
Yeah, we went out for Black Friday.
Get the fuck out.
And we were able to buy 99% of everything in one
Good
day.
for you, man.
Yeah, we really killed it.
Jesus. I mean, that is good for you. That's really cool.
We got that. We killed it, man. We bought damn near everything on Friday. By Saturday, we bought the tree, put the entire tree up. On Sunday, we wrapped everything and bagged everything.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And we got it all done.
I kept my tree up last year until February.
Yeah.
And then we put it upstairs in the spare room. And then I took it downstairs.
You still have ornaments on it?
No. Yeah, actually, yeah, I do. I have one deer head.
You don't put anything on it?
Mm-mm. Because it makes me very sad to take them off. So I don't want to put them on.
I love doing it. I love taking them out and putting them up. And the way we do, we get a real tree every year. We always get it at the Ace Hardware by the house. And then my mom's been getting us ornaments since I was little. So I got stuff from I was 2 years old.
Yeah, I still have all mine too.
And everything gets wrapped up individually at the end of the year. And it's so fun to take my job is I take everything out and then Heather puts everything on the tree.
That's very you though. That's very you, taking something out and looking at it and appreciating it.
I look at it. I remember the story.
The history, yeah.
I repeat it to Heather endlessly and she doesn't give a fuck.
That's cool.
And then I set it down. I always say, this is my favorite one. or this is the story.
You should record yourself doing that.
My favorite one was, it was in 1992. We didn't have a lot of money, and my mom made all of our ornaments with like sequins.
I love that.
And she was making sequin ornaments for money that year.
Get the fuck out, for real?
We were like super poor. Like it was really bad. My mom, to make money, was making sequin things out of sequins, a lot of like sequin ornaments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And selling them like on the craft circuit. So my mom was like, real big on the craft circuit in the early 90s. It was the only way like we could like fuck. There was like a lot of stuff. She was making like really good money just selling shit that she made.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so that's my favorite ornament.
I get that.
There was like ones from like the military that I had. It's like I don't like some Air Force ones that were kind of neat. Some neater ones. There's like some first edition stuff when I was really young.
Yeah,
they're like worth a good chunk of change. They all get put up on the tree. Some of the stuff for like my grandma from like 1930s we got up there. Yeah, so it's always fun. And I'd like take everything down. And when we do it, we play. We each year we pick what we play in the background. So it'll be like, Christmas Vacation or Die Hard or something like that. And then we put the Chris Farley tree up there. She puts all the shit out. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
You guys have any anything that you guys do as far as like tradition?
Andy likes watching Christmas movies.
What does she watch?
Every year she'll watch like Christmas Vacation, Elf. There's a couple others that Nightmare Before Christmas I think is more of a Halloween movie for her. She has a couple that I'm forgetting right now, but she also loves the Hallmark movies, like the turbo shitty ones, like 9 Puppies for Christmas, 9 or 10. Not the part 2 is 10 Puppies for Christmas.
Wait, is it like ones that she watches every year, or just like this is the Christmas crap that's on this year?
She watches the Christmas crap and then she gets out of it.
There are so many Christmas crap movies.
There's so many.
That seems like a whole genre of crap that you could watch.
If you're interested, I have a lot of them.
No, I'm not. Unless there's any you recommend.
The irony is that every year Netflix has released one very good Christmas movie. Of course, I can't think of any off the top.
8-Bit Christmas?
That wasn't a Netflix one, but that I would agree with is a great Christmas movie.
I've never seen it. I saw it up there and I never watched it.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
But there's like, oh, fuck, I'm forgetting them all now. But every year there has been a very good one.
Is this a recurring one or they release a new one?
They're just new ones. But like one was a gay couple had to come out to the family, and the family were like, yeah, we already knew. But the beautiful part of that movie is it's not a gay Christmas movie. It is a Christmas movie with a gay character doing this amazing story. And it's like, they just kind of like, that's like a side thing. And the way they handle it is so fucking nice. It's so tactful and so heartfelt. And like, the story is goddamn good. And there was another one where it's like,
anyone with explosions?
Explosions?
Explosions.
Oh, no.
Going boom.
I mean, then you have like the fun Christmas movies like
Die Hard.
Oh, shit, dude. My fucking brain is...
Die Hard 2.
Since July of this year, my brain has been goddamn mush. And the Christmas movie that came out, was it last year or the year before, with...
Ryan Reynolds.
The dude... No, fuck that one. Andy liked it. The cop Hopper from Stranger Things, where he played Santa Claus.
David Tennant. David Harper.
Hopper, where he plays Santa Claus. Did you see that one?
No, but I wanted to. I know what you're talking about.
And like
David Harbour. It's
a lot of fucking fun. And then he gets his hammer. And I was all in.
Is it violent?
Yeah.
Is it called Violent Night?
I think. No, Violent Night is another fun movie.
Wait, it's not Violent Night?
Wait. Is it Violent Night?
Yeah, this one.
Oh, I'm thinking Silent Night. Yeah, Violent Night. That
Silent Night's the one where they don't talk at all.
Yeah. It's fucking... Dude, it's John Woo.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to watch both of these. Violent Night's an action comedy.
Yeah.
I want to watch this with
It's
her.
really great. So my favorite part of it, do you remember when you watched Shaun of the Dead for the first time?
Yes.
And you were like, it's funny, but why is it good? You know, because like we're predispositioned to think comedies and spoofs are supposed to be shitty, right? Mm-hmm. The reason Shaun of the Dead was so good is because it was a good fucking story.
Very clever.
And it used the tropes, made it meta. This movie is a meta Christmas movie. If you watch it, it hits every fucking Christmas movie trope perfectly.
Does it hit the Gremlins trope where somebody's dad died in a furnace chimney?
Jesus Christ.
God damn it. Where's the heart?
Yes, yes, it does. Did you ever see Tales from the Third Dimension?
Maybe.
There's a scene at the end of Violent Night that copies Tales from the Third Dimension. It's fucking beautiful. It's so great. Like, we cheered. We're like, yay, get rid of him. Shoot him up through a fucking chimney.
If it's a comedy, I think it'll be... Heather doesn't like horror movies or things that are overly gory, which means I don't get to watch things that are overly gory.
I told you to come here.
There's so many things I don't get
We
to watch
have
anymore.
so many of them. And we watch every Sunday. Unless I'm working. Every Sunday we watch a bad movie.
Every Sunday, we do all of our chores. That's when I do my laundry.
Okay.
And I go to the grocery store. And I cook my food.
When are you done?
And we clean it up.
When are you done? Because we don't start until about 5, 6. We got to shoot the cats.
It's usually around when we're done.
And then we watch a movie.
It's usually around then. I don't know if Heather would enjoy me leaving.
Ooh, she would enjoy you leaving.
She would. She would. She didn't want me around. She works so many hours that like I only get to see her on the weekends.
Dude, Andy's working 12 hours a fucking day. She's just getting home right now.
That's about what Heather does. She works a ridiculous amount of hours, which, sucks. But so on the weekends, that's when we spend time.
I get it. That's what I do too. Or try to.
So now that Annie knows that I'm here, she's like, what is that motherfucker doing here?
No, she was actually very excited.
When Heather's like, you're going to be gone. She's like, good. I'm going to be, she actually was going to be home on time today. Yeah, I see how it is. But I'm actually going to be gone when you're going to be there. Honestly, I think it's just because she knows like that's when the cats hang out. Well, last time we talked, the cats are out now. Like the cats are living. Did I tell that story last time I was here?
Wait. Are they okay together now?
Yeah, they're all...
Get the fuck out, dude. I was just over at your house not that long ago.
I mean, okay's not... I mean, they hiss at each other sometimes, but
they're not like chasing each other like down the stairs, and they only live down, like Han isn't allowed in the kitchen.
Yeah, no, Han just kind of goes wherever now. Han goes up wherever he wants.
That's great news.
Yeah, no, I just kind of...
It only takes 4 years, so...
Well, I mean, the way I did it was... Heather's very protective, and she wanted to make sure, like, she thought the cats would explode somehow if they interacted
just
like they're antimatter.
Yeah.
So when she left for a business trip, I just took everything down. Just let her come home back to it.
That is the prototypical dad move.
I'm just like, they're all going to hang out now.
They'll figure it out. Yeah. I got to go chop wood.
Well, just in case, I slept downstairs in case something bad would happen.
That's actually
so
really
they
cool.
would all kind of hang out in Evie's. Evie's like massive dad. Like there's 2 daddy's girls. They both want to hang out with me when I'm sleeping. And so
where does Han sleep?
Han sleeps wherever he wants to.
Attaboy.
He just wants to stay out of that mess. There should just be a time where Han and I just hang out somewhere.
Make sure you do that. I do that with my cats too.
Han doesn't want to hang out with me. He just wants me to give him treats. That's really his jam. He's just like, all right, dude, I know you took me out of underneath a car back in 2011, but seriously, just throw those treats on the ground.
He loves you unconditionally.
He don't give a fuck.
Dude, Rex follows me every fucking way around the house. I have to put a chair next to my chair Otherwise, he'll just bark at me until I go get a chair. So I just put a chair next to my chair in my office. He sits next to me until he gets bored and then goes sits on the cat bed next to the chair. I get up to pee. He has to get up and follow me.
Yeah.
I love winter because he wants to be under the blankets with me when I'm sleeping. I get into bed. He comes under the blankets. We go to sleep. I wake up, bullet black. He jumps up. We wake up.
Evie like literally just tucks right in my arm. She just sleeps.
Isn't that the best feeling?
She just tucks right in there.
Yeah.
I think eventually though, now she sleeps at the foot of the bed. Like cats, like they make their rounds.
Yeah,
they
right.
Like, I don't know. I told Heather like I'm going to be really happy when like all three will be up on the bed. I think that'll happen eventually.
Agreed.
I think like Evie would tuck in my arm, Han would sleep at the foot, and Luna would sleep like next to her, or Han would sleep on Heather's head. I know she likes that one a lot.
I love when cats do that because that's like the ultimate fucking like I love you. I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna watch out for you while you sleep.
Yeah, Han's a big sleeping on the head type person.
That's a protective thing.
Yeah, he's my big boy.
Yeah,
he's lost a lot of weight.
Has he really?
Yeah, since he's gone over the wet food.
Oh, that's fucked. Yeah, that's right.
So Han's lost a lot of weight. Evie's never been big, but they both had to have wet food because they both had a lot of their teeth pulled.
Yeah.
Luna is a chunky little fucker, dude. She's got like a little fat roll above her tail. She gets that.
Oh no!
Yep, she got the booty like her mom.
Got the fat rolls. A booty like her mom. So, I wrote a book. Actually, I wrote 4. Actually, so I've been kind of depressed since July because a lot of shit's been going on. We'll talk about it on another episode because that's what we want to do is end this episode on a fucking downer. I just started writing one day and I used ChatGPT to write with me. And what I did was I was like, okay, here's what I want to do next. Go. And then it would fill in the blanks, right? And it was so much fucking fun because basically I got to read a book that I got to decide what happened.
So you're an editor.
So stand by. I got all the way to the end of the book and I was like, holy shit, everything wrapped up. And it was actually fucking fun. But it's like super self-masturbatory. So it's like cringy as fuck to read back through. But then I wrote 3 more and they started to getting a little bit better. So now I'm going back to book 1 and I'm actually just rewriting it all from scratch, like my own writing. And I'm throwing away most of what happened. I'm using it as like a super bare bones skeleton.
Can I ask what it's about?
Yeah, I wanted to write something stupid, something super tropey just to get out of my fucking head. Mm-hmm. And I wrote an isekai, thrown into another world. Okay. But I wanted it to be more like in isekai is mostly like a power fantasy genre, right? Like I was a nobody on Earth and now I'm in a fantasy world and I can throw magic and all the bitches love me and I'm the best there ever was. It's a power fantasy. I wanted to play in that for a certain degree just because I wanted to have fun. And then I'm going back and rewriting it and I'm like, well, no, this is stupid because this wouldn't happen this way. This character wouldn't do this. This fucking wouldn't happen. So like,
are you allowed to give a synopsis?
Yeah. Book 1 is you start off and you learn the main character's sister died and she was like sick with a disease for a long time. And because he couldn't work hard enough, because he couldn't bring in enough money, because of the corrupt fucking American healthcare system, she ends up dying because she couldn't get enough care. So he's going through like this like wild fucking whirlwind of self-doubt, depression, and wanting to commit suicide. And he gets whisked fucking away through space and gets dropped on a fucking fantasy-esque planet where
Kansas.
Yeah, exactly. Topeka. And here he's told that he has to be the chosen one. And he's the chosen one to defeat the great evil that is coming to unite the fucking planet and make everyone happy. And he's having to deal with both the idea of holy shit, my life actually has a purpose, and who the fuck am I? Why?
Is this a dramedy?
Kinda. Yeah. It's a lot of self-reflective shit, but at the same time, I'm just writing a fucking stupid fantasy story.
What's the character's name?
Ryan.
Just Ryan?
Ryan Asher. Oh my God, dude. So after I started like analyzing this shit, John, I went from 4 books. I have 49 planned.
How many pages are in a book?
Originally it was like 150. And now I'm about halfway through book 1, like rewriting it, and I'm at 320. So I'll be at like I'll be at like 600 pages for book 1.
Are you going to sell this?
No.
Why not?
No one's going to fucking read it. I just want to do it for fun.
You should sell it.
No, I'll just give it away. I don't give a fuck. It's not good.
You should sell it.
I'm not going to sell it.
You should do the artwork for it and sell it.
I already have all the artwork for it. I spent a lot of time on that shit.
Good.
But I planned out 7 arcs, and each arc has 7 books. And I know exactly what's going to happen in each book.
Are they all going to come together at the end?
Oh, I mean, the whole thing is one journey. But yeah, I created a magic system. I created lore. I created mythos. I created what the planet's been through for the past 10,000 years. I created different ages. I drafted all this shit up. I drafted up how magic works versus other kinds of things.
Is there an age of heroes?
Yeah, kind of.
Is there an age of magicite?
That's highly specific. But like
where you have like machine and magic that comes together?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, actually there is. Magitech.
Magitech, thank you.
But my favorite thing is I'm dropping so many fucking hints at small things now in book 1 that aren't going to come to fruition until like book 30 something. And it's going to go like, holy shit.
So when George R. R. Martin said that he, like, because of the way the way that modern books are done, like to get paid for it, you got to be able to release them one at a time. And if he could do it over again, he would have changed things in book 36 to make it better in book 1. You can actually do that.
Yeah, I could.
And then you release them all at one time.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking too, was just releasing multiple books.
Are you going to have a pseudonym?
Yeah, I actually found I haven't
Rumble Foreskin.
I haven't picked it yet, but I wanted a Japanese name because I wanted this to feel, because it's a Japanese genre. I wanted to do like the cover in Japanese text and everything else, and it's been translated for the first time. And like the pen name, I had it like Waui something, which means like horrible writer.
You should say that this book was etched on a ceremonial sword that you won in a fighting match. In a tournament.
That's such a fucking weird deep cut that how many people like, no, that's just us. That is an us joke right there.
I would totally read.
Oh my God.
A samurai sword that I won in a fighting tournament.
But I will say the first 4 chapters I'm really kind of proud of.
Yeah, good.
Like I read it for I read the first chapter for Andy, and she's like, holy shit, Jay, are you okay?
Hey. Can I be the guy that reads your audiobook?
Would you?
Yes.
Don't play with me.
I'll fuck it. Are you kidding me? I would love to do that.
John?
I would read your audiobook.
So, John, I'm going to stroke your ego here a little bit. I've been playing around with AI, like AI voices, trying to find a text-to-speech AI that's free, but also good. And I keep going, what would John sound like doing these voices? And I will regrettably say there's a lot of females.
That sound like me?
No, but I do envision the character having your voice. So
I would read the shit out of that.
Yeah.
And you got like all the equipment to do it.
You just, yeah, I have a sound shield. Like if you want to do a real audiobook.
I will read the shit out of that.
Okay.
I would have an awesome time doing it.
Dude, I would.
Nick told me that he's like looked into doing audiobooks.
Get the fuck. Oh my God. He would. Oh my God. His voice. Yeah.
He'd be good too. I have wanted to do an audio. I've wanted to do an audiobook for a really long time.
Okay.
So like the fact that you're doing that, I am so down.
Okay. It's not good.
I don't care.
It's real bad.
Even better.
It's real bad. It's so cringy. Dude. Except for the first 4 chapters, which I'm actually kind of proud of.
The guy that did like the Bobaverse, how you can be 40 different guys that are all the same guy and make it sound the same.
Holy shit.
I would take it seriously. I respect the shit out of the craft.
Hugely. I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks lately. You know what light novels are?
No.
Light novels are garbage. They are fucking horrible, horrible trash, but some really fucking fun ideas come out of them. Okay? Light novels are like 200 pages, and it's very thinly written because it's designed to write them fast. Most light novel authors put them up on blogs and just have people read them online. And then sometimes they get really big and they get book deals out of them. You've heard of Sword Art Online.
Yep.
You've heard of those are all light novels.
Okay.
Overlord, Attack on Titan. They were all light novels first.
What? I didn't know that.
I'm listening to the audiobooks of Overlord, which is one of my favorite fucking shows. It's an isekai where a guy stays in a video game that he's been playing for like 5 years, and they're going to shut it down. They're going to shut the servers down. The game's being canceled. And he goes, you know what? I'm going to stay in this game until it gets canceled, until the fucking midnight. When it hits midnight, then I'll go to work in the morning and find something else to do. So he's staying there. Like it's like the World of Warcraft kind of game, right? Where you just amass so much fucking power, and like he amassed a castle with all these loyal servants, and he's just sitting there going, all right, just let it end. And then it keeps counting, and then he's trapped in the game. And instead of everyone being an NPC having game rules, now their castle is now on another plane of existence in a real world. And all the NPCs all have real personalities. And it's so much fucking fun. And
are they different from what their personalities were before?
No. They're the exact same. But now they have actual personalities instead of like pre-written scripts.
Do they know?
No, but they know they were created by the Supreme Beings, aka the players.
Do they know that he's one of the players?
Not player. They can't understand that concept. So
do they know he's one of the Supreme Beings?
And like what he says goes. Like there is no fucking question whatsoever. And it's incredibly overpowered story where like all the characters of that group.
Does he lose that power?
No.
He can still make them do whatever he wants.
Uh-huh. And he has all the powers from the video game. And if you and me as a normal person are like level 3, and then like the greatest athlete in the fucking world is like level 10, he's level 1000. Him and his entire party are so fucking insanely overpowered that when shit does happen in the books, it's like, it's so fucking exhilarating to actually watch it happen because there's no doubt in your mind that anything's going to go wrong. It's just like, let's fucking go. So it's almost like almost cathartic. It's a super cathartic.
But they hold back for a super long time.
They hold back because the main guy's goal is to say, well, if he's here, maybe there are other players here on the planet. Is that an
Asian culture thing? Like you told me that Cobra Kai is like a Korean thing where they hold back for the fan, like the best fan services, like the one they keep hinting at. Yeah, and it finally happens.
Yeah, that's Asian storytelling. Yeah. But it's a super lot of fun. But the thing I wanted to tell you about is I'm listening to the audiobook, and they got the voice of the English anime to read the book of the main character.
Yeah.
And every time he does someone else's voice, it's just like, Jesus Christ, you are hitting this so goddamn well. And like he's adding shit to the reading that's not in the book, like screams and laughs and things like that. And it's just, you're bringing me into the story. I love it. And his screams, like he like pulls the microphone away and fucking belts it out. And I'm like, dude, good for you.
Dude, I want to do this audiobook. Okay. How many characters do you have?
Main?
Total.
I have a lot. I mean, like they meet a lot of people, but like one major character.
The Roy Dotrice who has to do all the characters for Game of Thrones.
Holy shit.
Very impressive.
Reoccurring characters, I would probably say maybe 9.
Okay. Do you have a way that they all want to sound?
Kinda.
Okay.
I have character charts of all their personalities and speaking habits and things like that. Yeah.
Perfect.
I spent a lot of time in a hospital just wasting fucking time writing.
Do you want to talk about that?
I don't.
Okay.
Next time.
Love you, buddy.
I love you too, man. Thank you for doing this.
Have you seen the remote?
Cause there is no cock like horse cock. Send your asshole into shock. You need horse cock, of course cock. Grab the lube and slam the day away.
Are we going to end on an actual end note? That's so weird.
Ooh, 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 ooh. I ain't happy. I'm feeling glad I got sunshine. In a bag, I'm useless, but not for long. The future is coming on. I ain't happy. I'm feeling glad I got sunshine. In a bag, I'm useless, but not for long. The future is coming on. It's coming on. It's coming on. It's coming on. It's coming on.
Finally, someone let me out of my cage. Now time for me is nothing cause I'm counting no age. Now I couldn't be there, now you shouldn't be scared. I'm good at repairs and I'm under each near. Intangible, bet you didn't think so, I commend you to. Panoramic view, look I'll make it all manageable. Pick and choose, sit and lose all your different crews. Chicks and dudes who you think is really kicking tunes. Picture you getting down in a picture tube. Like you lit the fuse. You think it's fictional, mystical, maybe spiritual. Hero who appears in you to clear view when you're too crazy. Lifeless to those the definition for what life is. Priceless to you because I put you on the hype shit. You like it? Gun smoking righteous with one toe. You're psychic among those possess you with one
I ain't happy. I'm feeling glad I got sunshine. In a bag, I'm useless, but not for long. The future is coming on. I ain't happy. I'm feeling glad I got sunshine. In a bag, I'm useless, but not for long. The future is coming on. It's coming on. It's coming on. It's coming on. It's coming on.
The essence, the basics, without did you make it? Allow me to make this childlike in nature. Rhythm, you have it or you don't, that's a fallacy, I'm in them. Every spotting tree, every child at peace, every cloud and sea. You see with your eyes, I see destruction and demise. Corruption in disguise from this fucking enterprise. Now I'm sucked into your lies. Through Russell, not his muscles, but percussion he provides. For me as a guide, y'all can see me now cause you don't see with your eye. You perceive with your mind, that's the inner. So I'ma stick around with Russ and be a mentor. Plus a few rhymes so motherfuckers remember where the thought is. I brought all this so you can survive when law is lawless. Feelings, sensations that you thought was dead. No squealing, remember that it's all in your head.
I ain't happy. I'm feeling glad I got sunshine. In a bag, I'm useless, but not for long. The future is coming on. I ain't happy. I'm feeling glad I got sunshine. In a bag, I'm useless, but not for long. My future is coming on. It's coming on. It's coming on. It's coming on. It's coming on. My future is coming on. It's coming on. It's coming on. It's coming on. My future is coming on. It's coming on. It's coming on. It's coming on. My future is coming on. It's coming on. It's coming on. My future is coming on. It's coming on.
The wake had been quiet, too quiet, a hollow echo of what it should have been. It was just me and the empty chairs, rows and rows of silence where people should have been, a room filled with nothing but emptiness that gnawed at the edges of my mind. There were no whispers of sympathy, No soft touches of reassurance on my shoulder. I sat alone, staring at the worn-out picture of my sister on the table. The small frame barely able to hold the weight of her absence. She was only 17. The room smelled of old wood and stale air like they hadn't cleaned it since the last few dozen of these. Dust had settled on the pews that no one bothered to wipe clean. It felt like a forgotten place, much like the way she had been forgotten by the world. Or maybe it was me who had been forgotten. My eyes landed on a small dragonfly absent-mindedly living their own life, meandering over the linoleum floor, complete with chunks missing at some corners of the peel and stick do-it-yourselfer that tried to make it look nice and failed. The poor thing's wings had been removed or lost. Either way, the little guy was floor-bound, unable to fly like his species prided themselves on. The dragonfly, now that it's closer, I can see a small blue star shape on its head, crawled over the bent-up linoleum next to my feet and finally over the top and back down. I can't remember ever looking this close at a dragonfly before. Did they normally have designs on them? Why was I focusing on this? Like on a mission, the bug crawled behind my shoe in a straight line. My eyes lazily traveled the speed I thought it would take for it to reappear on the other side. But it never came. I waited. Still no bug. I wait for what felt like a full minute sitting in the world's worst advertisement for bereavement and family unity. My eyes flitting up, still not seeing anyone. They fall back on my shoes and I just couldn't take it anymore. I lift up my shoe to see if the dragonfly was okay. Okay, I think to myself. Why was I giving a shit about a bug on the floor of what reminded me of the place at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark where not a living soul dared to hang around in? Why did I give a shit when literally the only person I have ever felt a connection to in my life after our parents left us out of the blue 10 years ago is about 20 feet from me, laying in the most modest and affordable pine box that working shitty part-time jobs for shittier pay could buy?